lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Ignacio Roja from Chile. He says Beyond.
Beyond.
I was reading the top 25 list for Vita and PlayStation 3. Some choices I agree with, some I don't, and 2 questions came to mind. Number 1, did Greg have any involvement on the list? Who else was involved with the list? No, I did not. I had no involvement with these lists. I was finally washed clean from the PlayStation list, so my bias and my love of stupid games could be erased. Who were on the list, though?
This is in the article, so you just have to go back and read them.
Oh, sorry.
The author field has all 5 people that chose the lists,
Yeah.
and they're also in the body of the text. So
Gotcha.
you can click on their Twitter accounts, whatever, and whatnot. So that's answered for you in there. It's different for each list. I'm the only consistent person on every one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go through it then. What do you want to do?
Let's do PS3.
You wanted to call off the topic. You want to do this. This is your call for topic of the week.
Yeah, I just thought because a lot of people are asking questions about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's mad about it.
Everybody's mad about it. This is the thing, man. I'm so glad not to be on these things. You remember when I was in charge of PlayStation, Lord Almighty did I hate top 25 lists. Because no matter what you do, everybody gets cranky and pissy about it. All you're saying is, here are 25 amazing games. And people are like, wow, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
Dear IGN.
The really confusing thing was some people on like message boards and on IGN and stuff were like, do these guys even play Vita? I think I've probably played more Vita than almost anyone in the world. But you can look at my trophies on psnprofiles.com if you don't believe me. But no, seriously, a lot of people were like, did they play enough Vita games to even be able to make a list like this?
Well, because you don't
it's like I think I'm pretty sure we are the biggest major website that writes about Vita by 100 times over. So yes,
where's the goddamn Soul Sacrifice?
Right, that's what everyone wants to know. Is where's Soul Sacrifice? Where's Tukaiden and all these other games?
Yeah,
they're just not on the list.
Yeah, they're not one. They're 26 and 27.
Right. No, we did the best. You know, it was disappointing in a way, Greg, because I was actually excited about these lists this year because I was like, everyone always hates Greg and I because we always do these lists, and then we have our weird games on there that no one really cares about, and I was like, so we're purging the whole list and we're starting again. We sat in rooms and we did this like very democratically. We represented everyone equally, and this is what we came up with. And 2 things stuck out to me. One, everyone wants them to be exclusives. Like, why? What does it matter? First of all, on PS3 list, the 4 top games are all exclusive to the console. And if the best 25 PS3 or Vita games are third party or indie, who cares? Yeah. They're still the best games on the console. So I don't understand that mentality. The other mentality is what, like you said, you just can't please. It's not even that you can't please everyone with a top 25 list. You literally can't please anyone with a top 25 list.
Well,
because my top 25 list would look different than this.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's the silent majority who comes in, checks lists, and like, all right, cool. Thanks for telling me cool games, and leaves. And then everybody else who wants to get down to the nitty gritty and be like, I don't think your number 11's right. Your number 14 should be number 11. Your number, it's like whatever, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll go through them real quick. Tell me if any of these stick out to you.
As being wrong or right.
Or whatever. Just if in any way. So number 25, we have Rayman Legends.
Garbage.
Okay. Number 24, we have Dead Space.
Should be Dead Space 2.
Number 23, The Unfinished Swan.
Great pick.
Number 22, Heavy Rain.
Amazing.
Number 21, South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Game of the year.
One of them, yeah, I would say. Number 20, Resistance 3.
Yeah, sure.
Number 19, Flower.
Of course.
Number 18, The Walking Dead: The Game.
Yes.
Number 17, Dark Souls.
Yes.
Number 16, Far Cry 3.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And so for me so far when we mention these games, I would actually put Dead Space: The Unfinished Swan. A lot of these games actually would be a little higher for me.
Yeah, I agree.
And Far Cry 3 would actually probably be in the top 10. I love that game. Number 15, Super Stardust HD. Mm-hmm. Number 14, Infamous 2.
Hell yeah.
Number 13, Catherine.
Nice.
Number 12, Batman Arkham City.
Yep.
Now, someone wrote to me, and I haven't checked the video, but someone wrote to us today on Twitter saying that I confused Metropolis with Gotham City in the video. And I haven't gone back to listen to it, but my inclination is that I think I was using Metropolis as not a proper noun. Like, you get to explore a Metropolis of some sort. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
Number 11, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch.
Old Drippy!
Yep, Old Drippy knows. Number 10, Portal 2. Yep. Number 9, Fallout 3. Mm-hmm. Number 8, Mass Effect Trilogy. Number 7, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption. Number 5, BioShock. And I push to get BioShock higher, right where it is, because I think that's a fantastic game. And then we get into the kind of predictable stuff. Now, we reversed them this year from when we used to do, Greg. Number 4 is Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Number 3 is Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. Number 2 is Journey. Number 1 is The Last of Us. So I think it's a pretty solid list of games.
It's a great list.
Some people were wondering where the big ones that they were curious about was Metal Gear Solid 4
of course.
and God of War 3. Now, we used to keep Metal Gear Solid 4 off the list because we didn't think it belonged on that list. Now, with the inclusion of a bunch of new people, they still didn't think it belonged on the list.
Right.
So I'm sorry that it's not on the list. God of War 3 was number 25, I think, last year, so it was bound to get bumped off.
Right.
And there just weren't any advocates for that game either. But I think that those are the two specific games that people
Ignacio has another
complain
question
about the most.
He says, I know Colin thinks Fallout New Vegas is a better game than Fallout 3. Why is Fallout 3 on the list and not New Vegas?
I lost that.
You fought the good fight and you couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. So, I mean, we had certain conversations. The one thing that people brought up, which I think is a very interesting point, a very valid point,
yeah,
and one that I'm going to look into when we revise the list, probably for the last time next year, is we have the Mass Effect trilogy on here at number 8. That's 3 games, and that's available in a trilogy.
Yeah,
we could have done the same thing with Uncharted, and because you can buy all 3 games in the bundle pack, right? People were asking.
Yeah,
that.
But they're not on the same disc.
Okay, yeah, because I thought that was an interesting point. I was like, oh, that's a good point. I don't know exactly how they're available, if you can buy them in a digital bundle or whatever, but it's something I'll look into next year.
I don't know anything about digital.
I'll look into that next year because that's an interesting point.
I'll look into it.
But yeah, I'm sorry that some of the games that people wanted to be on there didn't get on there. As you'll notice, Shatter, which was really high on the list last year, is off the list completely.
Did you make a fight for it?
I did fight for it, and I fought to get Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas on the list. Take both of them.
Yeah,
I think they're both fantastic.
And Marty with his dumb beard was like, nah. Put Gone Home on there. And you're like, Gone Home isn't even on this console. He's like, do it. Do it. Do it. And, you know, wheel him out of the room. Do it. Do it.
So that's it. Is there any other notes you have on the PS3 list?
It's good. I like it. I mean, I'm never going to be the one who's like, all right, really? Number 25 should have been number 14. Well, you know, get out of here. They're great games. I never really feel, this is what we always, when we used to do these, right, we'd sit there and be like, I'm feeling like we should get Walking Dead somewhere in this area. You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like it's more in the grouping you're in that matters. Like obviously 1, 2, and 3 I think are the ones you really get held up on. Then the rest starts getting well, like what's 4 to 10? All right, what's the lower part of the teens? What's the higher part of the teens? What's the 20s? And then what's the like honorable mention you put at 25? That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. The Vita list I think was much more contentious with people, so I wanted to go over that one as well. We started with number 25, Plants vs. Zombies. Sure. Number 24, Loot Rousers.
Amazing
number
game.
23, Escape Plan.
Nope.
Number 20. So no, you wouldn't have Escape Plan on the list.
Yeah. I have no real love for Escape Plan.
Number 22, Zero Escape: Virtue's Last Reward.
That game didn't work for me, but I know people love it.
Number 21, Velocity Ultra.
Yep.
Number 20, Tearaway. Number 19, and a lot of people were upset that Tearaway was not higher on the list. I think it's at a pretty appropriate
Tearaway
place.
is overrated. Believe it.
I agree.
Pen drop.
Number 19, Lumines Electronic Symphony. Yeah! Number 18, Spelunky. Number 17, Muramasa Rebirth. Number 16, Little Big Planet PS Vita.
Lewis writes in and says, hello, Greg, Colin, of the ever-rotating third chair. I noticed that Little Big Planet Vita took a plunge in the Vita's top 25 list. Did this have anything to do with Andrew Goldfarb's absence? Or did Little Big Planet Vita just get that much worse?
I think you were more the bigger advocate.
I was the big advocate. And now, keep in mind, I think when we did the first Vita list, there was fewer games to pick from. So it came down to, is it going to be Persona or is it going to be Little Big Planet? And I was very much pulling for Little Big Planet in there on a few grounds that I thought it's definitely, I still feel the best Little Big Planet, that you could continually play it forever, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it was a heat of the moment. In that, you know, we had to decide. I remember we were picking them, I think, before we went on holiday break. So literally, Persona had just come out. It had just been reviewed. And we picked wrong on that, 100%. Persona's obviously a better game than Little Big Planet. But at the time, you're hung up on the fact that it's this thing that can generate, you can make levels in and do and play forever. And
And there was the dark horse, which was Resistance Burning Skies.
You know what? It's true. That was the wild card. With that, we were like, is this going to be like a fine wine? Is it going to get better with age?
Number 15 was Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Danganronpa.
My suspicion is that from what I've played of Danganronpa 2 is that it would have been on the list if more people had played it. It's just this list, it didn't. The timing wasn't good.
Sure.
Number 14, which I think is the most underplayed and underrated game on Vita that no one talks about, is Dokuro. That game's awesome. Number 13, Dragon's Crown. Number 12 is Rayman Legends. Number 11 is Killzone Mercenary. Number 10 is Stealth Inc. Clone in the Dark. Number 9 is Sound Shapes. Now, this is a really, really good top 10 list.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Sound Shapes. Number 8 is Hotline Miami. Number 7 is Child of Light. Number 6 is Rogue Legacy.
So happy to see Rogue Legacy there.
Number 5, Guacamelee. Number 4, Velocity 2X, which is just
brand new.
Insane how good that game is. And then the top 3 didn't change at all from last year. Uncharted Golden Abyss is number 3. Super Stardust Delta is number 2. And Persona 4 Golden is number 1. The games that people were curious why they weren't on the list was, the most of them was Soul Sacrifice, Endor Soul Sacrifice, Delta, Tukaiden, and Gravity Rush. And to be honest with you, in the conversation we had with the 5 of us when we were making that list, none of those games came up.
Yeah.
I think Gravity Rush is wildly overrated. I don't like that game that much. I don't think it feels good to play. I think it's interesting, and it's an interesting character. I want to see them do more with it, and they will. They announced a sequel last year.
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's a PS4 game, so don't get too excited. And I think we'll see more of it probably in Tokyo.
Really?
Yeah. But that's when it was announced. So when I was in Tokyo last year, it was literally announced just in a sizzle reel that was playing over the booth. Like, they never even said anything about it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be maybe Vita, PS4, both. But I don't think it's going to be only on Vita. So none of those games came up. I think Soul Sacrifice is a good game. I just don't think it's better than any of these games. Tukaiden I didn't play. I've heard good things about it. I know some people were upset with our review for the game, which I didn't do, so I don't have much insight into that game, but that game didn't come up with
I started it. I had fun with it, but I fell out of it.
The upcoming games that I think would be in this conversation when we think about it would be Freedom Wars, Minecraft maybe.
Yeah.
There's
please let it come, Microsoft.
There's a lot of games that are coming to Vita that sound really awesome. Frozen Synapse Prime, which we were talking about before, sounds really cool. I think Big Fest sounds awesome.
It sounds cool. Let's see if it actually the game that we haven't seen that we saw a little bit of, and it's whatever.
I was disappointed that they moved it to PS4 as well.
Yeah, that was another lost exclusive.
Yeah. So, there's some games that will be in the mix next year. I think this game will be this list will be much more fluid than PS3's. Obviously, we have Murasaki Baby and all sorts of things that are promising. To Leave, it looks like a really good game. There's a few others, and again, a lot of people are complaining like why more exclusives, because there's just the Vita's strength is its independent catalog. With that said, even though I guess 8 of 10 of the games are downloadable only games, right? Yeah, looks like it. Uncharted 3 at 3 and Persona 1, or Uncharted Golden Abyss at 3 and Persona at 1 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not independent games.
Real quick to clarify something I said earlier, I said that I got it wrong back when we're talking about Little Big Planet and Persona, and then you said the top 3 hadn't changed. I was talking about when we said Little Big Planet was Game of the Year over Persona for Vita, hence the holiday break and everything else. I didn't clarify. When I
gotcha.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.